Grill Sergeant here. In today's video, we're going to talk about all things pellet smokers. We're going to go over the good, the bad, the ugly, where these things shine, where they fall short, but most importantly, we're going to address some comments left from people that actually don't like pellet smokers and see if we can find some common ground when it comes to making backyard barbecue. Now, a few years ago, I put out a video called Pellet Smoker Mistakes. And this week, it actually ended up getting over 1 million views. Now, the whole purpose of that video was to take someone that is a beginner when it comes to backyard barbecue and to show them what a pellet smoker is, how a pellet smoker works, and to avoid some common mistakes that I've done that I've learned across the way. God, is that a falcon? Wow. Okay, where were we? And that video took off like a rocket. Thousands and thousands of comments came pouring in, with the majority of them being thank you for the help and information provided in the video. But from time to time, there were collectively a few dozen comments, all with the same running joke. And that is, well, your first mistake was buying a pellet smoker. To which I would reply,
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
so who is making these comments when it comes to any hobby that you enjoy doing? No matter if it's watch collecting, bicycles, cars, whiskey, beer, any type of hobby or collecting you do, you are always going to have elitists in that hobby. And elitists will kind of look down on anything that is not up to their tier or their par, and barbecue is no exception. Now, a few of those comments were people that use Weber kettles, and trust me, I get it. I love Weber kettles. So you do have some die-hard Weber freaks out there that it's kettle or death, nothing in between. And I can get that and I understand that. But the majority of those comments putting down the pellet smokers were from people who use offset smokers. Now, what is an offset smoker? An offset smoker is pretty much the traditional way to go when you are doing authentic style barbecue. You can break down an offset smoker into two parts. You have the cooking chamber and you have the firebox, and that is where your wood fire is going to go. And that is how you are traditionally going to do it. Now we have to ask the question, why do pellet smokers get so much hate? Because to them, it's cheating. You'll get comments like easy bake oven, oh, pellet smoker, oh, that's cheating, it's unfair, disadvantage, blah, blah, blah. And I just look at it and I laugh because one, I don't care about the comments. I love all comments because it helps fuel the algorithm. Now, if you are new to backyard barbecue and don't really know what a pellet smoker is, in my opinion, it is a great barbecue tool to deliver awesome barbecue results. A pellet smoker can pretty much be broken down into 4 parts. You have the cooking chamber, you have the hopper, you have the auger, and then you have the firebox. And how it works is you pretty much take wood pellets. The pellets are driven through an auger into the burn pot, which makes a fire and smoke. And that is how you actually get your barbecue smoke and heat inside your cooking chamber. And what's cool is you get to use a computer to dial in the perfect temperature settings you want. And as long as this hopper is full of pellets, you can run it as long as you want. So when I see comments saying, well, that's just an easy bake oven. Yes, you are absolutely correct. It's easy to use, and just like an oven, I get to preset the temperature that I want. And personally, I think a lot of the hate stems from it being too easy. It's just too easy to make backyard barbecue. There has to be a little bit more grit and a little bit more suffering when it comes to making good barbecue. And to that I say, you know what? It is what you want it to be. If you come in here and you're an elitist, you kind of just make things unfun. I like coming out here and doing some quick cooks on my pellet smokers, and I like doing the low and slow overnight types of barbecues where I actually get a good night's rest and a good night's sleep. I wake up in the morning and the brisket is almost done. I just have to do a few more things to it to help carry it along the way. And with an offset smoker, that's not so much the case. You pretty much have to stay up the whole night. every 45 minutes to an hour feeding in another log. There is a lot more process when it comes to using an offset smoker. Now let's go over something very important, and it's why I would recommend a pellet smoker if you are just getting started out with backyard barbecue. For those that would disagree, I would love to hear about it in the comments, but here is my reasonings. When it comes to making really good backyard barbecue, the smoker plays a small role in many factors leading up to great barbecue. The majority of factors leading up to good barbecue actually starts at the supermarket when you're actually picking out the meat, and most of it then happens in the kitchen where it's trimmed, how it's seasoned, how it's rested. There are so many factors, and it's not just about the smoker when it comes to making really good barbecue. I've had people taste my brisket coming off a pellet smoker, and they only have an offset smoker, and they were surprised at how amazing the brisket tasted. Well, why is that? Because a lot of it doesn't have to do about the smoker, but more of how you season and prep and trim it. So the point I'm trying to make is if you are getting into backyard barbecue, there are a lot of variables to consider. You have to know how to properly trim the meat. You have to know how to season the meat, what seasonings to use. Do you inject, not inject? There are so many variables leading it up even before you put it on the smoker. And the reason why I would recommend a pellet smoker for a beginner is the one thing you don't have to worry about is fire management. You can set it to whatever temperature you want, and that will take care of it through the cook. And all you have to worry about is taking care of the meat, whether it's brisket, whether it's pulled pork, whether it's ribs. When you use a pellet smoker, you get to focus 100% on dialing in the flavor that you are going after when it comes to barbecue. Now, if you start out on a traditional offset smoker, now you are adding fire management to the mix. It really isn't that complicated, but if you are someone just starting out, you're going to be more worried having the temp spike and go up and then now having it drop down too much. And it feels like you are just trying to struggle keeping a dedicated normal temperature that you're trying to smoke at, and less about, well, how did my brisket taste? What was the flavor profiles? Could I adjust this a little bit here and there? So the advantages for me starting off on a pellet smoker is you can get really good at making backyard barbecue. You can work on techniques, you can work on recipes. There are so many things you can do, incremental steps on how to get better and better barbecue, to the point where once you have that locked down and you have your recipe dialed, sure, then go to an offset smoker and then learn fire management, but you don't have to worry about the actual recipe and barbecue itself. You can now just worry about keeping and maintaining good temps. Now, you can disagree with me, and that is totally okay, but for me, starting off on something like an offset smoker, there is a lot to juggle, and a pellet smoker helps make that job easier. Now the question is, which one's better, a pellet smoker or an offset smoker? Look, if you get to that level where you are making really, really good barbecue and you know how to use an offset smoker will deliver the best flavor and smoke you will get. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but you have to understand this channel is geared to those just starting out. And a lot of people on this channel start out with pellet smokers, get really into it, and then they pick up a kettle, they pick up an offset smoker. It's almost like the pellet smoker is the tool that helps you learn to make really good barbecue, and then the sky's the limit. But so many people will hate on pellet smoker and pellet smoker users, and it's like, bro, we're the same team. We both love backyard barbecue. If someone's just starting out, they want to use a pellet smoker, drink a few cold beers, and just learn the process, learn to have fun with it, let them. Life is too short to care too much about this. Come on now. Those purists that have never used a pellet smoker, I would love to invite you over. You can have a little cook-off, and I guarantee I would surprise you. You'd be surprised because now pellet smokers are coming out with insane technology. It's not just an auger dumping pellets into a firebox anymore. you now have an algorithm that delivers super smoke. You can put a smoke tube inside that delivers even more smoke on top of super smoke. And now with these new heating rod elements in here that get these things fired up in no time, you can do all your quick cooks. It basically replaces the gas grill. And how about this? Can we agree on that? That cooking on a pellet smoker, as far as flavor goes, is a step up from cooking on a gas grill. Can we just do that? Because man, oh man, I tell you what, see right here, I've been eating good. So will I ever upgrade and get a offset smoker on this channel? Sure, it would be cool one day. I'm enjoying the process of making backyard barbecue, trying out different techniques, and a pellet smoker helps me get the job done. If you have any questions about pellet smokers or how they work, I will in the description leave a few helpful videos that will help you along on your backyard pitmaster journey, which again, they hate when you say pitmaster and pellet smoker in the same sentence, they freak out. They hate it. You can't say that. Wherever you are at on your backyard journey, enjoy it, man. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Grill Sergeant out.